Welcome back to the channel!
Today, we're diving back into a world of secrets and shadows, where a hidden identity is about to be tested like never before. The lecture hall fell into a heavy silence as the professor stood before the class, the weight of his hidden identity pressing down on every word. Among the students, one young woman sat with intense focus, her eyes tracking every movement, sensing that something far more dangerous than a simple lesson was unfolding. But beneath her calm exterior, a single thought raced through her mind, threatening to expose the truth that could shatter the Academy's peace forever. The air felt heavy, thick with a secret that no one else could perceive. Through the cafe window, a hidden layer of reality began to reveal itself. A shimmering veil of magic was cast, a silent barrier designed to muffle every sound and isolate the world outside. While ordinary eyes are blind to the colors and scents of the arcane, for him, the truth was becoming impossible to ignore. A single question haunts the young man's mind, filled with growing uncertainty. He can't help but wonder what secrets were exchanged during that private meeting. As the instructor abruptly ends the session, the tension remains thick in the air, leaving everything unresolved. A stern warning echoes through the halls, reminding everyone to stay focused. Believing baseless rumors isn't just a distraction. It comes with a heavy price of penalty points. But whispers of a legendary werewolf story are impossible to ignore. The question on everyone's mind isn't just about the truth, but what would happen if they actually managed to catch it. The atmosphere in the classroom was heavy with tension as a stern warning echoed through the room. The consequences for any wandering mind were clear, immediate penalties. Despite the risks, a daring plan was forming. If they could pull this off without being caught, a massive reward from the city awaited them. Now, the only question left was, are they truly ready to risk it all? The tension in the room was palpable as the group discussed a dangerous rumor. One wrong move regarding the werewolf legend could lead to severe penalties, making it far too risky to pursue. The student nodded in agreement, fully aware of the consequences. The weight of the Academy's strict rules loomed over their every decision. But then, the question turned to him. He stood there, caught in a dilemma, admitting that he wasn't exactly eager to take the lead in this dangerous game. The tension in the room is palpable as the weight of the recent attacks settles in. With casualties rising due to the werewolf's rampage, the argument for involving the faculty becomes undeniable. A sudden, sharp movement interrupts the silence. The decision is made: the professors must take control of the situation before more lives are lost. A bright morning begins with a friendly greeting, but the calm atmosphere is about to be shattered. The warmth vanishes instantly as a sharp, defensive retort cuts through the air, signaling a brewing conflict. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a blade. A sharp voice broke the silence, demanding that the defeated should finally step aside and end the struggle. But there was no surrender in those eyes. A retort flashed back, reminding the challenger that the previous clash ended in a stalemate, and there's no room for interference in their personal duel. The stakes were being raised. A new challenge was issued, not just to fight, but to fight with everything they had, leaving nothing hidden and unleashing their full raw power. A sudden realization strikes as the truth becomes impossible to ignore. The demand is met with immediate resistance and confusion. The situation is spiraling out of control. New rules are being forced upon them, and the reasoning is terrifying. A monster is on the loose, and it's stripping away their freedom, one night at a time. The tension in the room reaches a breaking point as the young woman confronts the truth, accusing him of using a mere excuse to hide his growing fear. The confrontation tightens as the eyes of the students lock onto the man, sensing the hidden layers of deception beneath his calm exterior. With no more room for debate, the decision is made. The path forward is set, but the consequences of this choice remain dangerously uncertain. The tension in the room was palpable as the two students sat in silence, the weight of their recent discovery pressing down on them. A sudden realization struck one of them. If a direct confrontation was too dangerous, there had to be another way to handle the threat. But the thought that crossed their mind was terrifying. What if the true danger wasn't a battle, but the beast lurking within the shadows? The stakes have never been higher. A deadly challenge has been issued. The first person to capture the werewolf will claim ultimate victory. But as the agreement is made, a sudden, unexpected movement leaves the group in total disbelief. One student bolts, fleeing the scene in pure terror. But there's no escaping this hunt. The chase has officially begun. The sudden silence in the room was deafening. A single, harsh remark hung in the air, leaving the group stunned by the unexpected cruelty. The weight of the words finally sank in. The realization hit like a physical blow. She was truly gone, leaving nothing but an empty space behind. Anger flared as the tension reached a breaking point. How could anyone justify such a heartless statement? The confrontation was only just beginning. The conversation started casually, with a simple agreement to let the faculty handle the threat of the werewolf. But the realization hit like a physical blow. Her words weren't just bravado. She was actually serious. A sudden wave of dread washed over them. No one would take such a reckless risk unless they were completely out of their mind. Han thoughtful. He pauses, lost in deep thought as a realization begins to dawn on him. Sar intense. The thought hits him like a physical blow. There is simply no way that could be true. Has suspenseful. As he stares ahead, the weight of the situation settles in. A storm is brewing, and nothing will be the same. A sudden, sharp movement catches their attention, breaking the silence of the hallway. Panic begins to set in as a realization hits. They can't help but wonder, when exactly did she arrive? Watching her figure walk away, the pieces start to connect. If she's heading toward the dormitories, the implications are terrifying. A heavy tension begins to lift as the group breathes a sigh of relief, realizing that the expected chaos has been avoided for now. But the danger isn't gone. As the young woman stands firm, the memory of her near, reckless behavior still lingers in the air, leaving everyone on edge. A sudden, massive realization strikes like a lightning bolt, leaving no room for doubt. Everything is about to fall apart. The two students stare in pure horror as the weight of the situation sinks in. The chaos they feared has finally arrived, and there's no turning back now. Suspenseful. A sudden proposal is about to change the course of everything. The tension is rising, and the stakes have never been higher. Under the cover of a heavy, swirling storm, the atmosphere grows thick with tension. A lone figure moves through the shadows, his presence unnoticed by the world, yet heavy with purpose. But as the rain falls, a silent question lingers. What secrets is he truly hiding in the dark? Sirius. A sharp gaze pierces through the shadows, revealing a man burdened by a heavy secret. The weight of his past is catching up as more and more enemies begin to hunt him down. He is forced into a dangerous game, bound by a single desperate goal: restoring his family's fallen honor. The tension in the room was palpable as a stern demand was laid bare. A high, ranking official was explicitly instructing the undercover professor to show leniency toward the elite students. The request was clear: be more flexible with the aristocratic class. It was a subtle attempt to manipulate the rules, masking favoritism as a mere requirement for good conduct. Watching the man's face, the professor could see the underlying fear. The official was clearly anxious, driven by the desperate need to protect the reputation of a fallen noble family. The plan was simple. He was prepared to advise his companion to align with the principal's side to secure their advantage. But then, a single revelation shattered the strategy. The truth about this land was far more radical than anyone imagined. In this place, the very foundations of society, commoners, aristocrats, and even the royal family, simply do not exist. With an unwavering gaze, the professor stands firm, declaring that his principles are non-negotiable and will never be compromised. Without a second thought, he turns his back, preparing to head into the shadows for his nightly patrol. But just as he begins to walk away, a desperate voice breaks the silence, halting him in his tracks. A sudden, unexpected greeting shatters the silence, catching the professor completely off guard. He realizes that staying loyal to this path is a dangerous gamble. If he continues to follow this lead, his true identity and his family's secret could be exposed to the world. He refuses to move recklessly. Every step must be calculated, because he cannot afford to provoke the Academy's leader without a definitive reason. A heavy silence, falls over the room as a realization begins to dawn. Suddenly,
The calm is shattered.
a sudden impact sends bodies crashing to the ground, leaving everyone reeling from the unexpected strike. The tension in the room was palpable as a sharp voice cut through the silence, demanding to know why the professor hadn't retreated to the safety of the dorms. But before any explanation could be offered, a devastating blow was delivered. A penalty was being issued to everyone present, and there was no way to escape the consequences. The numbers were staggering. As he looked over the records, the realization hit him like a physical blow. 20 students had already been caught up in this chaos. He was well aware of the rewards being offered, but the sheer scale of the involvement was something he never anticipated. The scope of the problem was expanding far beyond his control. Punishments and threats were failing to stop the spread. He stared into the darkness, knowing that if nothing changed, the situation was spiraling toward an inevitable disaster. Intense, with a look of unwavering resolve, the hidden master makes a bold declaration. No matter the danger, he will deal with the threat before it can ever manifest. The shadows of the Academy hide many secrets, but one specific location is now under his watchful eye. A critical facility near the outskirts has become the center of this brewing storm. The clock is ticking, and the stakes have never been higher. Under the cover of a moonlit night, the massive Academy towers loom like silent giants, guarding secrets that no one should uncover. A thick, unnatural fog begins to roll in, swallowing the light and masking the movements of something lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, a lone figure emerges from the darkness, hand resting on his blade, eyes scanning the corridor for any sign of an approaching threat. The investigation took a chilling turn when the truth about the intruder's path was revealed. The informant's report was clear: the beast used the sewers. But there's a terrifying realization. Only a pipe of this specific size could ever accommodate a creature of such monstrous proportions. A bright light cuts through the oppressive darkness of the corridor, revealing a chilling realization. The path ahead remains untouched. The shadows stretch long against the stone walls, confirming that no one has dared to step into this forbidden zone. Yet, as the lone figure stands amidst the silence, a heavy sense of dread lingers. The true danger is only just beginning to stir, a whispering. The trail was fresh. The heavy, unmistakable prints of a werewolf pressed deep into the ground. But as the investigation continued, a chilling realization set in. There wasn't just one predator lurking in the shadows. A massive set of tracks was being followed by a much smaller one. A large werewolf and a smaller one, both moving in the exact same direction. This wasn't just a random encounter. It was a coordinated hunt. Every sound in this dark corridor feels like a threat. The professor knows that even a single misplaced footstep could expose his entire secret mission. As he moves through the shadows, the silence is heavy. He can only hope that no one is lurking in the darkness, waiting to uncover the truth. The trail has gone cold. As the light sweeps across the desolate ground, a chilling realization sets in. This is where the path splits and the connection is lost. A single, heavy footstep echoes through the darkness, leaving behind nothing but uncertainty and a trail of unanswered questions. The realization hits like a cold wave. The massive beast has been spotted moving straight toward the academy. The danger is no longer distant. There's a terrifying certainty that it's heading there to hunt. This means the creature is now officially the most lethal threat currently in existence. As the weight of this threat settles in, one question remains. Can anyone survive this encounter? The shadows are lengthening, and the danger is closer than anyone realizes. He stood there, lost in thought, realizing that in this dangerous world, an immediate ambush wouldn't be out of the question. But before he could even prepare a defense, the silence of the night was shattered. A blood-curdling scream tore through the darkness, leaving him frozen. The nightmare has officially begun, and there's no turning back now. Suspenseful. A sudden, sharp sound pierces the silence, signaling that something is moving in the shadows. Urgent panic begins to set in as the realization hits time is running out. Desperate. There's no more room for error. If they don't act now and follow the trail immediately, the opportunity will be lost forever. Urgent, driven by a sudden, piercing cry. The professor realizes there's no time to waste. He must move immediately toward the source of the disturbance. With lightning speed, he blurs into motion, racing through the shadows to intercept whatever, or whoever, is in danger. So intense. A sudden outburst of frustration breaks the silence as a sharp curse echoes through the air. The pressure is mounting, and the realization hits hard. Time is slipping away, and failure is looming. As the chaos unfolds, one thing is certain: the consequences of being late could be catastrophic. A sudden burst of golden light pierces through the darkness, signaling the start of an unexpected confrontation. With a ferocious roar, a monstrous beast lunges forward, caught in the swirling vortex of magical energy. The impact is devastating, leaving everything in a state of pure, unadulterated chaos. But can anyone survive this onslaught? An intense, a sudden, ferocious roar shatters the silence, revealing a beast with razor-sharp fangs and eyes filled with pure predatory instinct. Gasps. The sheer force of the creature's appearance leaves no room for error. The air itself seems to vibrate with the threat of an immediate attack. A whispering, trapped in the beast's gaze. The two figures realize that their lives are hanging by a single, desperate thread. A sudden, violent impact shatters the silence of the night, sending shockwaves through the air. Under the cold, watchful eye of the full moon, Two figures stand frozen, staring into the vast, uncertain darkness. A sudden gasp pierces the silence as the young woman's eyes widen in pure disbelief, her voice trembling as she calls out to the man before her. The tension in the air is palpable, leaving everyone holding their breath as the confrontation intensifies. But then, a single, cold name is uttered, cutting through the chaos like a blade and signaling that a much deeper secret is about to be revealed. The tension in the room was palpable as the instructor's piercing gaze locked onto his students. Under the weight of his intense scrutiny, the two students could only offer a frantic, stuttering affirmation, realizing that their every move was being watched. The tension reaches a breaking point as a sudden notification flashes, delivering a devastating blow. 5 penalty points
Have been issued!
The two students freeze in pure terror, their eyes wide with disbelief as the weight of the mistake sinks in. There is no way to ignore this error.
Total chaos erupts!
The realization hits them like a lightning bolt, leaving them completely speechless. The stage is set for a clash of titans. A legendary professor faces off against a terrifying werewolf in a battle that will shake the very foundations of the academy. But the fight is only the beginning. As the dust settles, a new mystery emerges, leaving us wondering what happens next.